Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, Typhoon Ompong unleashes its wrath in the Cordillera Region. Flash floods and landslides, leaving at least 30 people trapped in mud.
We do not know if it's true that there are people inside that building, then a number of missing will be increased.
Also, farmers take a hit from the storm.
We have activated our DADRRM Operation Center. We have advised farmers to harvest their crops.
Could this have an impact in the current food situation?
We are also requesting the various local government units to declare their individual state of calamity. That will trigger the price freeze of DTI.
Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol joins us live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. Rescuers are racing against time to save around 30 people who were buried in a landslide in Itogon, Benguet. The landslide happened Saturday afternoon in a mining community at the height of Typhoon Ompong. A local disaster official says various rescue teams are pooling in all efforts and resources to free those still trapped under tons of mud. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Northern Luzon Command Chief Lieutenant General Emmanuel Salamat. General, welcome to the show, sir.
Yes, Pinky.
General, can
Hello.
you give us an update on the latest on the search and rescue operation, sir?
I just can give you the latest. In Benguet, Itogon, we have about still 36 are apparently missing, and individuals are still identified. So, but we have already recovered about 33 individuals.
Sir, when you say 33 individuals recovered, sir, what do you mean by that?
33 casualties, dead bodies from the site. But we have recovered some injured personnel during the course of retrieval operation.
Mm-hmm. General, so there's still 36 individuals missing as of now?
Yeah.
Can you give us the situation on the rescue, sir? Because alam po natin medyo malambot po yung lupa. And how dangerous is it for the rescuers as well, sir?
We have stopped we have to stop the operation last night kasi madilim na. So the operation resumed this morning. Hello?
Yes, General, we're here, sir. And nag-resume po siya ngayong umaga. Siyempre, tumigil po kagabi because gabi na po.
Tsaka maulan din, madulas, so the retrieval troops can't proceed further during the dark night.
General, I can imagine yun po yung biggest challenge dyan. Yung pong, well, the weather condition, you said nga last night, umuulan pa. Siyempre, malambot na po yung lupa.
Today, the National Incident Management team will come over to take over the operation. But I suggest siguro later, siguro it will be an integrated effort to parin sa retrieval operation so that we can maximize all the current teams that are available here in the search and rescue and retrieval operation.
General, you are on search and rescue and retrieval, as you said. General, can you give us a profile of the area? Help us understand the situation over there.
The soil density is not enough to maano na yung soil, malambot na yung soil. The water density was already exceeded by 3 times. That's why malambot na yung soil. That's why nag-landslide, that this caused the landslide dito sa Itogon area. Apparently, yung mga houses is doon sa below the just below the roads area where the landslides
Occurred.
fell down.
So you're saying, sir, nandun na po siya sa babang area. Tama ho ba, sir?
Kasi nandun din yung community, nandun din yung mga houses. So apparently doon sila nagsecure ng refuge.
Yun po yung sanang inaasahan nilang magiging protection nila.
Oo, sana doon sa tinatawag nilang simbahan, yung simbahan na malapit doon sa first gate na tinatawag nila ng mga miners.
So, how I understand it, General, please correct me if I'm wrong, ano ho siya? It was an old bunk houses, sir, that was transformed into a church, tama ho ba?
Yun, correct.
And do you have an idea, sir, kung more or less ilan ho talaga yung who sought shelter there? And are they just minors or are they minors with their families?
Earlier report, what was reported to us was there were about 43 individuals that were trapped or buried in the site. So as of now, we are still looking for the 36 still missing individuals that are also still unidentified.
Alam ho ba, General, kung minor sila, kasama ang kanilang mga pamilya?
Yan pa yung alamin natin today. Hindi ko pa nakausap yung iba sa mga locals saka sa mga survivors. I just arrived from the area today, this morning.
Okay.
So we'll give you an update as soon as makakuha tayo ng other information.
All right. So, sir, just okay. We'll let you go, sir, and we'll get more information from you a little later on during the day. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, Lieutenant General. Salamat. Thank you, sir. All right, so dozens of people dead and over 500,000 people affected. That's as Typhoon Ompong barreled through Luzon over the weekend. Ompong, the strongest typhoon to hit the country this year, uprooted large trees, severely damaged houses and buildings, and even triggered dozens of landslides in the Cordillera Region. Police are saying 59 people were killed, but President Duterte's typhoon point person, Secretary Francis Tolentino, is reporting 29. Tolentino says 24 people are confirmed dead in the Cordillera region, particularly from Itogon, Benguet Mountain Province, Kalinga, and areas in Baguio City. That's on top of the one person killed in Ilocos Sur and a family of 4 in Nueva Vizcaya. The youngest casualty was a 6-year-old child from Benguet. Meantime, government data showed almost 200,000 people are now staying in evacuation centers. Central Luzon, which covers Aurora, Bataan, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Tarlac, and Zambales, took the full force of Ompong's onslaught, displacing about 56,000 families or over 235,000 individuals. This was about half of the total people affected by the howler. In the Ilocos region, which also includes La Union and Pangasinan, 27,000 families, or roughly 9,000 people are reeling from the fury of the monster storm. In the Cagayan Valley or Batanes, Cagayan Province, Isabela, Nueva Vizcaya, and Quirino, 21,000 families or 77,000 people were affected. In Calabarzon, the Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon area, the count stands at 7,000 families or 31,000 individuals. In Metro Manila, that was placed under signal number 1 for most of the time. The affected population is at 6,000 families or 29,000 people. In the Cordillera, 7,000 families and 26,000 people. And in Mimaropa, almost 2,000 families or 7,000 people. Transport Secretary Art Tugade also reports damage to infrastructure amounting to 40 million pesos. We'll be taking a short break. We'll be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. President Rodrigo Duterte was in Cagayan Province to personally oversee the government's recovery efforts. In a briefing in Tuguegarao City, the president said he is satisfied with how disaster management officials responded to Typhoon Ompong's onslaught. Our correspondent, Makoy Popioco, tells us more.
I may not be able to make the rounds of all the areas to be visited. Tend to do it or continue to do it tomorrow. Still about a day I can spare to go around. One is just to assure the people that government is present.
President Rodrigo Duterte assured all affected residents that help is coming. He also consoled the families of those who were killed during the typhoon's onslaught.
I share the grief of those who have lost their loved ones. Those are what we would call unforeseen events.
Typhoon Ompong left at least 29 people dead. More than 130,000 residents remain in the evacuation centers. The president also conducted an aerial inspection over some areas in Cagayan province. During the briefing, he said government officials are prioritizing the restoration of electricity and communication lines, and also the rehabilitation of damaged bridges. Mr. Duterte also promised to discuss with budget officials the release of additional calamity fund. Disaster management officials report over 9 million pesos worth of assistance was provided to at least 13 hardly hit provinces, with the northernmost provinces getting most help. The president's point person for Typhoon Ompong rehabilitation, Francis Tolentino, also encouraged local government officials to declare a state of calamity.
We are also awaiting and requesting the various local government units to declare their individual state of calamity as pursuant to the local government code, because that will trigger the price freeze of DTI.
Trade and Industry Secretary Ramon Lopez also vowed to monitor the supply of NFA rice in affected provinces. The government also sent additional responders to help in the rescue and retrieval operations in some landslide-affected communities in Cordillera Region. The president also promised to visit Benguet Province on Monday. Makoy Popioco, CNN Philippines.
The Agriculture Department says 4 Mindanao regions are ready to assist northern Luzon provinces devastated by Typhoon Ompong. Regions 9, 10, 11, and 12 are now consolidating basic food items that can be airlifted to affected provinces. The Zamboanga Peninsula will supply fish and sardines, northern Mindanao to provide vegetables, while the regions of Davao and central Mindanao will send fruits, especially bananas. The Agriculture Department also says that rice prices are going down and expecting it to stabilize soon. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol. Secretary, thanks for coming. I know medyo hinabol mo po kami. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and I'm sorry I'm a bit late.
It's okay, sir. Let's start with this, your overall assessment, sir. Umikot ho kayo sa Ilocos and sa Tuguegarao.
During the pre-disaster briefing, I told the president that we were looking at two scenarios actually. One would be moderate, and we're expecting a damage of about 6 billion. And the other was the worst case scenario. We're looking at the worst case scenario right now, because in the two regions that we were in yesterday, Region 2 first and Region 1, the total damage to agriculture is already about 9.6 billion.
9.6 na, sir.
Yes, and we still have to receive reports from CAR, from the Cordillera Region. So we are looking at, although it's not a nice figure to look at actually, we're looking at about 11 to 12 billion in agriculture damage. Now, the rice sector could recover because we have coordinated with the National Irrigation Administration, especially for the Cagayan Valley region, na wag munang isara yung mga irrigation systems, because right after the typhoon, our farmers actually could replant. No? Although hindi na sila makakahabol sa last quarter cropping, they will be able to harvest the first quarter of next year. But for corn, it's a sad sight actually. Dapa talaga lahat halos ng mais, 90%. So I may recommend to the president the opening up of importation of corn to fill up for the shortfall. Actually, sufficient na sana tayo sa corn, but you know, I have to understand that Cagayan Valley actually is our corn production area.
Sir, let's start with the rice production because our farmers lost their palay. It was supposed to be harvest season, I believe, in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So nasira ho lahat yun?
Yes. Mayroong mga makaka-recover pa yung vegetative stage. No? Ang nasira lang talaga yung namumulaklak na and then
in 2
about
weeks to harvest. Yun ang
yes,
sira.
Yun ang nasira. No?
And how much of that would you estimate to have been damaged?
That's about half of the total damage of rice.
So let's put it at 6 billion because you're looking at a total of 11 to 12 in total, sir.
Yes, it's about the estimate of damage. But we are ready with our interventions. I told the President yesterday that the first intervention that we could give the farmers would be our crop insurance. It may not be able to, cover all of the losses of the farmers because we have certain parameters for the coverage of insurance. But certainly it will help them. Also,
Before you go on, can you tell us about this insurance, sir? Because also I'd like to put up a tweet of, it's si Karen Jimeno, sir. Sinabi din niya po, panahon na ho daw talaga for this insurance, which possibly a lot of us still don't understand. Yun po yung nakasulat, another reason why we need government-initiated disaster risk insurance. Yun po yung sinasabi niya.
No, actually, we have it already.
Yes. So, tell us more about that. Who gets it and what kind of insurance do they actually get?
First, the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation bases its coverage on the listing of farmers and fisher folks in the program called RSBSA, or Registry System for Basic Sectors in Agriculture.
RSBSA.
Yes, once you are listed there, you are automatically insured. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi ka kasama doon, malamang hindi ka ma-cover. But we understand this, so we came up with a backup insurance program. And we call this the SURE program, Survival and Recovery Program. This is a unique program initiated by the Department of Agriculture following the floods of Agusan in 2017. And it basically gives out a loan, no collateral, no interest, to a family affected by calamities. And they could pay this in 3 years. Walang collateral, walang interest, up to 25,000 pesos each. In addition to that, they could also apply for a production loan of up to 50,000 pesos, which they could use in buying their seeds and fertilizers to be able to recover.
Secretary, however, the situation is, for a farmer, na 2 weeks na lang ang harvest, naubos po yung kanyang palay. Tapos na po yun. Papaano, how do you tell them that pwede naman kayong humingi ng loan, yung sanang kikitain niya, ubos na? Paano po yun?
Actually, as I've said, i-cover ng insurance yung damage.
Lahat, does that mean, sir, that if that was worth, I don't know, sir, how much,
It's not gonna be 1:1, no? Because we will have to project. Kasi hindi namin pwedeng i-project kung magkano kikitain niya. Pero ang pinoproject ng insurance is magkano ginastos niya.
I see.
Okay? Because if we cover the whole thing, if the damage is 11 billion, then government will have to shell out 11 billion.
That's right, sir. Because if you're estimating at 11
yes,
billion,
the value of products damaged. No? So kung ganun ang ating formula, then we will have to shell out 11 billion every
so
time.
ang ibabalik niyo po yung ginastos nila, hindi po yung kikitain nila.
Hindi yung kikitain niya,
Okay.
yung ginastos niya.
So apart from that, there are loans. Number one, there's insurance on what they have spent, and then number two, loans.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, of course, meron tayong support sa yung tinatawag nating QRF or Quick Reaction Fund, no? Na pwedeng gamitin to rehabilitate, say, for example, their irrigation canals, basic infrastructure that we need to repair.
So it's also important, sir, because it was also a statement from Senator Grace Poe. She was saying that, sabi niya, first, give them food to help them tide over. Gagawin ho ba yun ng DA?
Yes.
Then give them the resources to grow food, although they would welcome relief goods. What they need more is production assistance.
Oh yes, of course. That's already factored in.
Pasok na yan.
Yes. In fact, we already have existing programs to address this. In fact, in Pangasinan, patuloy po yung release namin ngayon. Yung tinamaan ng 4 na sunod-sunod na habagat, we are now actually releasing our SURE loans. No? And in fact, I had pictures sent to me yesterday, the other day, from the ACPC, which is our credit agency, the Agricultural Credit Policy Council, which handles all of these credit programs for the DA.
All right. We'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol. So, sir, meron naman pong measures and programs for the farmers and fisher folks, sir. The question is, if you're looking at about 11 to 12 billion pesos in agriculture damage, is this going to
It's going to
certainly
hurt.
spike?
Not really, because the palay to be harvested from those areas actually would only account for about 3.6 days supply, national supply. And it would not make a dent right now because it's harvest season in other parts of the country. But we're preparing for, the next quarter, because the harvests that would have been made there would actually be the supply for the first quarter of 2019.
I see.
So yesterday, the President instructed me to coordinate with the National Food Authority to make sure that first there is enough rice in the calamity-stricken areas. And this morning, I talked to Administrator Jason Aquino. I asked him to compute already the consumption of the people in the area. Sa Ilocos region, for example, Ilocos Norte, ang daily consumption ng NFA rice is about 5,000 bags, no? Oh, no, 500 bags, no? So
Sorry, how much?
500 bags. Yun yung subsidized rice, no? Kasi yung mga Ilocano naman kasi,
500 lang, sir?
no, for Ilocos Norte, yun
po.
yung subsidized rice.
Yes.
So we're increasing that. Sabi ko sa NFA, double niyan, 1,000. That's for yung mga medyo mahihirap nating pamilya. But you have to understand the culture of the Ilocanos. These people never run out of rice. They will never run out of, masinop itong mga taong ito. So hindi ako masyado worried sa mga Ilocano.
What about the rest, sir? The rest of the areas?
Puro mga Ilocano naman to eh. Cagayan, Ilocano din. And in the Cagayan Valley area, actually, that region will never run out of rice. In fact, they still have rice stocks in their warehouses. Usap ko lang kahapon si Governor Boji D ng Isabela. And their only problem right now is power because they could not mill. But they have a lot of rice stocks.
So let's understand the situation, sir. Even with the 11 to 12 billion damage to agriculture, sir, rice prices will not increase. Is that what you're saying, sir?
No, in fact, it's going down. I was in Mindanao last Saturday, and I already received reports that from a high of 2,400 pesos per bag of 50 kilo rice, it's now down to 2,000 pesos. So from the miller, rice is now being sold at 40 pesos per kilo.
And why the reduction in the price?
Because harvest season has started. Because the late arrival of the imported rice has been sold, lumalabas na ngayon yung imported rice.
Yeah.
In fact, yung buying price ng farmers' produce has now gone down from 25 pesos to 20 pesos.
So we don't have a problem with the rice situation, at least there will be no increase, huh?
Pinky, we never had any rice shortage.
Yeah, you said
Because
it was
my
rice
definition-
speculation.
Yeah, my
That's what you
definition
used.
of a rice shortage is this. You have the money, but you don't have the rice to buy.
Walang supply.
Walang supply. Yun yung rice shortage.
Yeah, when you guessed it here, sir, in fact, it was also the president who said there's no rice shortage. I'm sure that was coming from you. It's rice speculation. But let's move forward, sir. What about other agricultural products, sir?
Vegetables, the prices are going down too. Okay. In fact, this week, we will start airlifting vegetables from northern Mindanao to the typhoon-affected areas. Governor Mamba yesterday said that they would welcome the arrival of fruits from Mindanao, fish from Zamboanga, and vegetables from Bukidnon. I was in Bukidnon last Friday, right after our meeting, because I talked to the regional directors. We really actually prepared for this, because I was foreseeing that with the typhoon, meat would be scarce, vegetables would be scarce as well. So we programmed. So 4 na regions yung tinap ko. Sabi ko sa Zamboanga, ikaw ang magsusupply ng isda, just in case. Fish. Because ang daming tamban doon, mura-mura. Pa 70 pesos lang. 50 pesos lang yata
Okay.
kilo. No.
So no problem with this week, sir, i-airlift na po.
Yes, I talked to Secretary Del Lorenzana yesterday. We were together in one plane, the Air Force plane.
Yeah.
And we agreed that D&D will subsidize the fuel of the C-130.
Okay. Sila po. Sila na magbabayad. Sir, just very quickly, because we don't have time anymore, your thoughts on the new NFA head, because you already said kanina, kausap niyo pa po si Jason Aquino.
I actually don't know him that well.
Okay.
I know that he used to be a PSG commander. But the president trusts him, and I actually have faith in the judgment of the president when selecting people. And as for Jason Aquino, still stays as NFA head until the retirement of Rolly Bautista.
And he really resigned, sir, si Jason
Actually, as
Aquino.
early as July, I was told as early as July, he was telling the president he wanted out.
Ayaw na niya?
Ayaw na niya.
Why?
Siguro, nahihirapan na rin yung mama. You know, siyempre, hindi sila magkaintindihan ng NFA Council, and it was very difficult for him. And the guy is a professional, actually.
Okay. Secretary, I know that you will be off to... Are you going to
Yes, I'm
Benguet,
going to
sir?
Benguet today.
Sir, okay. We'll possibly give you a call and get the latest also from you. Sir, take care. Maraming
Thank you very
salamat po
much.
sa inyo.
Salamat din.
Secretary Manny Piñol, thank you. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.